The first thing I do after becoming a zombie is run around collecting baby formula and diapers, all because I have adopted a human baby girl. Every other zombie mocks me as a fool, but what they do not know is that this baby girl is actually the reincarnation of the empress of the human race. In her past life, she fought across countless battlefields, survived endless life and death trials, and slaughtered countless powerful enemies from foreign races. But in the end, during her ascension trial, she was ambushed and died at the hands of the Void Swarm Queen. Now she has been reborn, sent back 50 years to the early days of the apocalypse, except this time, she is a baby. As for me, the moment I cross over into this world, I get attacked by zombies and turn into one myself. Thankfully, I keep my human consciousness. I have survived for a month on frozen meat from a store freezer, but now the meat is starting to rot. Zombies eat rotten meat, sure, but with a human mind, I absolutely refuse to accept that. I have no choice but to disguise myself as an ordinary zombie and head out to find food. Just as I enter a home and start to walk toward the kitchen, I suddenly hear a baby crying from the next room. After I pry open the bedroom door, I find the room cozy and untouched, a sharp contrast to the bloodstains in the living room. There on the bed, a baby girl about 6 or 7 months old is crying her heart out. The couple must have locked the bedroom door in their final moments to protect their child. Meanwhile, Arya feels her heart turn to ash. She has finally been reborn, only for the first thing she sees to be a zombie. She has not eaten in a long time, and now, on top of the overwhelming terror, Arya, crushed by physical fear and starvation, passes out. Looking at this little one, I feel a little surprised. She is only 5 or 6 months old, yet her eyes carry such sorrow and helplessness. For a moment, I actually feel a strange kinship with her. Both of us have ended up in this world for reasons we cannot explain. 2 unlucky souls dropped into the middle of an apocalypse. And this tiny new life that suddenly appears before me feels like a light in the darkness, giving me a new purpose. So I decide to adopt this little one. But then I suddenly realize the little one has fainted from hunger, and the formula can in the room is already empty. I decide to head out and find some formula. I close the bedroom door tight and drag the sofa in front of it to keep any zombies out, but after searching the kitchen and finding nothing, I have no choice but to head upstairs. The 3rd floor hallway is covered in dried, dark brown bloodstains, and unspeakable bits of flesh litter the ground. Even with the building door open, the stench of rot is unbearable. There are even a few zombies in the hallway with mangled bodies. I am long used to sights like this, so I head straight in to search the apartments. I tear through several kitchens but find no formula, only some raw meat that has not fully rotted. Then I reach a unit on the 5th floor, where the woman of the house has turned into a zombie, and her own child has already been devoured by her. I fall silent. If the little one had not been locked away inside that bedroom, she might have suffered the same fate. Luckily, I find 2 unopened cans of formula in the kitchen, along with a couple of pounds of raw meat that has not gone bad. In her hazy state, Arya feels the taste of milk pouring into her mouth. She instinctively starts to suckle, and once she gets some energy back, she struggles to open her eyes. She is shocked to find that she is not dead. Even more shocking, a zombie is feeding her milk with a spoon, just like a nanny. In her past life memories, zombies are nothing but bloodthirsty monsters. She has even put down comrades who turned. Could it be that this zombie is planning to fatten me up before eating me? I have no idea what is going through the little one's head. I only see her open her eyes again, and I finally relax. But because the little one has gone so long without food, 1 bowl of formula is not enough. For a second, I forget that I am a zombie. I try to speak, but all that comes out is a low growl. I shut my mouth, turn around quietly, and end up making 3 full bowls before she is finally full. I sigh, realizing how hard it is to raise a child. I make a mental note to bring back more formula next time. Thankfully, sealed formula lasts a long time, so I do not have to worry about it going bad. After eating her fill, Arya lies back in the crib, satisfied. But she still finds this situation absurd. The aura coming from this zombie clearly belongs to a freshly turned, low-level Tier 1 zombie, the kind that should have 0 intelligence. She cannot wrap her head around what is happening. But as an empress who has survived countless brushes with death, Arya slowly calms down. Fear still lingers in her heart, but she figures that even if this zombie really plans to eat her, at least she will die on a full stomach, so she stops worrying so much. After days of starvation and terror, her nerves finally relax, and she drifts into a deep sleep. Watching her sleeping face, I cannot help but smile. This is the first time I have felt peace and warmth here, but leaving a baby who is only a few months old where she is, means certain death, so I decide to take her with me. This is an old 7-story residential building. The 2nd floor where she is now is not safe, but the 7th floor at the top is much safer. Maybe because the complex is so old there are not many zombies around, but the ones that are here are starving. I cannot risk parading around with the little one. So I take a crowbar, sneak up behind each zombie on the way, and easily smash their heads in, taking out every threat along the path. Once the little one is settled, I take a shower and change into clean clothes. Aside from the gruesome wounds, I now look almost human. But the most important thing is that I find a full set of baby supplies in the apartment. A family must have fled in panic when the outbreak hit, leaving everything behind. Maybe because I have been moving around so much lately, my limbs, which were stiff after I turned, feel a lot more coordinated now. I can even make simple human gestures. I find it strange, but I do not dwell on it. All my thoughts are on Arya. Just as I pick up a diaper and get ready to change her, a shocking thought flashes through Arya's mind. If my feeding her only confused her before, then the fact that I know how to change a diaper is enough to convince her that I have kept my human consciousness. When she replays the details of our first encounter, she realizes I am nothing like the other zombies. I turn doorknobs, use a crowbar to pry open doors, and even mix formula and feed her. None of this fits the instincts of an ordinary Tier 1 zombie. She becomes more and more certain that I have kept my human awareness, because only a human will could ever suppress a zombie's bloodlust. But the next second, Arya's eyes go wide. The zombie in front of her does not look female at all, no matter how she looks at it. She never expected her dignity to be destroyed by a diaper, but she quickly lets it go. After all, just being reborn is a blessing, and this zombie saved her life. So a small thing like this is not worth fussing over. Arya watches as I, with my stiff limbs, clumsily change her diaper. Her heart feels touched and a little sad. She imagines that I once had a happy family only to be turned into a zombie when the apocalypse hit. The loneliness and pain of not belonging to any group anywhere touches the softest part of her heart. So she decides to accept me, to let me be her zombie daddy. After settling into our new home, I think about the food we both need, and decide to stock up. Going out during the day could draw attention from survivors and easily expose us, so I choose to move at night. Before I leave, I close the bedroom door and I even use a cabinet to block the stairway, guarding against both zombies and humans. I have witnessed plenty of people doing whatever it takes to survive. I know how dark human nature gets during the apocalypse, so I stay extra careful. I tie the iron gate on the first floor shut, and only then do I start hunting for supplies. The nearby residences do not have much per unit, but it all adds up. I gather enough food to stuff my hiking backpack full. After that, I carry a huge amount of formula and head back through the dark. But then I suddenly sense something is wrong. I look up and see that the moon hanging in the sky has turned a brilliant red. At the same moment, Arya wakes up and finds the room empty. After relieving herself comfortably in her diaper, she suddenly spots the blood moon outside the window. It looks like the age of global evolution is about to begin. Meanwhile, I am surprised by the sight of the blood moon. But since I am living through a zombie apocalypse and have seen scenes like this in science fiction movies, I accept it pretty quickly. This is what an apocalypse should look like. I keep hauling supplies back and forth, even grabbing books along the way. But on my fourth trip, I suddenly feel something wrong with my body. A strange burning heat rises inside my cold body, a feeling both foreign and familiar, like I am alive again. But then my brain starts itching unbearably, and it feels like my skull is about to explode. I guess my human consciousness is about to disappear, and that I am about to become a purely bloodthirsty zombie. Panic floods through me for a moment. But it is not just me. Even the other zombies under the moonlight are going through the same change, and the survivors bathed in the blood moon are running hot too. Their blood flows faster, their bones grow tougher. And up in the bedroom, Arya is also wrapped in the crimson moonlight. Her tiny body trembles slightly, burning with fever. After what feels like forever, I finally come to. The surroundings do not look any different, but the moment I move, I feel how much more agile I am. The stiffness from being a zombie is gone. To my amazement, the black veins across my skin have faded, hair has grown back on my head, and even the zombies wandering the streets look different. The horrifying, twisted faces now look somewhat human. A quiet thrill rises in my chest. This world is more than I thought. As I walk past a zombie, a strange feeling washes over me. I sense a thin thread linking me to that zombie. It startles me so much that I think I am hallucinating. But then I realize I have actually gained a special ability. I can send my thoughts down the thread and into the zombie, like controlling a puppet. When I focus harder, the connection grows even stronger, and I succeed in making the zombie perform complex actions. I name this ability Puppet Control. After testing it again and again, I find that I can only control 2 zombies at the same time for now, and if they get too far away, my commands lose accuracy. I think this is tied to my mental power. I name the zombies I control puppets. When I start feeling a bit tired, I suddenly remember that Arya is home alone. So I have 2 puppets carry the supplies on their backs and rush back to the complex with me. I have to say, zombies are born workhorses. They do not need food or water, and they do not ask for a paycheck. Meanwhile, after the blood moon baptism, Arya wakes from her deep sleep. As a flood of information rushes into her mind, her eyes fill with excitement. Unlike the talent she awakened in her past life, this time she has actually awakened telekinesis, the power to move objects with her mind. And what amazes her most is that she has also recovered her past life ability of time manipulation. Both of these talents have the potential to make her a top-tier powerhouse. In her past life, she rose to the throne of Empress with time manipulation alone. And now, in this life, she has awakened dual talents, perfect for both attack and defense. After Arya tries using her powers, her baby body is too weak to keep up. Within moments, her head starts pounding with sharp pain and exhaustion. Even though her mental power is still very weak now, she remains full of hope for the future. She believes that, as she grows, her strength will far exceed what she had in her past life. She even starts to imagine one day defeating the Void Swarm Queen who killed her. Suddenly, sounds come from outside. Arya guesses that her zombie daddy has returned. Now she cannot help but wonder, would a zombie with human consciousness also awaken special abilities after the baptism, just like a human? When I see that the cabinet in the hallway is undisturbed, I let out a sigh of relief. This is the first time since arriving in this world that I have felt something to truly worry about. I push the cabinet aside and rush into the bedroom, where I find Arya awake, watching me quietly. Even though I have never even dated anyone in my life, in this moment I actually feel what it is like to be a dad. I then walk into the kitchen, but with the water and power out, I can only use bottled water to mix the formula for the little one. As I stir the formula, Arya is studying her zombie daddy. She notices I have changed, but only a little. I look a bit more human now. This is not like any zombie evolution type she remembers. In her past life, zombies had many evolution types, such as the tank zombie, whose body grows massive and tough, like a battlefield tank, a nightmare for any survivor. She had high hopes for me, a special zombie, hoping I would evolve dramatically after the baptism, because in this apocalypse, strength is the key to survival. But seeing how little I have changed, she cannot help feeling disappointed. So Araya quietly makes up her mind. When she grows up, she will have the strength to protect me. She knows that without me, being reborn as a baby would have meant certain death in this apocalypse. She always repays kindness, and this is a debt beyond words. You raised me and I will care for you, is not just an empty saying to her. She also knows the main ways zombies evolve. The biggest one is by devouring living creatures. The other is by taking the crystal cores from the brains of other zombies. Any unique zombie that awakens supernatural abilities, no matter the type, will form a crystal core inside its head. She is confident that with the advantage of her rebirth, she can hunt down crystal cores and help me evolve into a higher tier zombie. By then, I will be able to speak, and my body will look more human. While I have no clue what is going through the little one's head, I just see her staring at me with those wide eyes, and I find it hilarious. I cannot speak, but I gesture to her, trying to tell her that I have brought back toys, and even a stack of old textbooks for her. I suddenly realize I have not given Arya a name yet. After thinking about it, since we live on the 7th floor, I decide to call her 7, a nickname to help us remember the warm moments in our little home on the 7th floor. I am happy with the supplies I gathered in one night. I think we have enough to last me and 7 a long time. Given how unpredictable the apocalypse is, I decide to lay low and observe for a while before going out again. I walk into the living room and pick up a steel cleaver about half a meter long. I have no idea what the previous owner of this home did for a living, but they actually own such a long, razor-sharp blade. I have never learned any sword techniques, but with the raw power of a zombie body, I can swing the cleaver smoothly. I think back to moves I have seen in martial arts novels and movies, and start practicing them in the living room. With a blade in hand, I can easily take on several enemies at once. While I am training, Arya, after resting for a while, starts working on her talents again. For her newly awakened telekinesis, she focuses her mind on a silver needle on the nightstand, and even though her control is still slow, the needle starts to glide through the air. Just like that, time flies by, and 2 days pass. Both of us spend our days fully occupied. After feeding Arya, I hear movement outside. Through the balcony window, I see 2 zombies on the street ripping into each other, even though there is no food to fight over. This strange behavior goes against everything I know about zombies. Since the 7th floor is too high to see clearly, I head down to the 4th floor to get a better look. One zombie is nearly 2 meters tall, incredibly strong and muscular. The other has a thin frame, but its claws are as sharp as daggers. The hulking tank zombie has powerful defenses, while the stalker zombie hits hard but cannot break through the tank's defense. After a chaotic exchange, the tank zombie uses brute force to send the stalker zombie flying. One final punch crushes the stalker zombie's skull, and the tank zombie pulls out a white crystal core from its head. I am stunned by how much stronger these 2 zombies are compared to me. I am grateful I stayed cautious and did not go out. It seems this world is far crueler than I imagined. I cannot let a little evolution go to my head. The moment the tank zombie pulls out that crystal core, a powerful craving rises in me. My instincts tell me the crystal core is good for my body. Could it be that this whole fight between these 2 zombies was for the crystal core inside the other's head? After the tank zombie devours the white crystal core, it pounds its chest and roars in excitement, then smashes its fists into the cars nearby. The ordinary zombies around freeze when they hear the noise, then all back away, instinctively afraid of this monster. I guess the crystal core may boost the abilities of evolved zombies. The raw craving I feel when I see a crystal core is even stronger than the hunger for flesh. If I can eat one, it will definitely boost my puppet control. But right now, I am clearly no match for that thing. Suddenly I spot a gas tank in the kitchen, and a plan instantly comes to mind. Meanwhile, Arya also hears the commotion outside. Even though she cannot see what is happening downstairs, with her past life experience, she figures that after the blood moon, the world has entered a peak of evolution, with zombies and mutant beasts killing each other for power. Human survivors will start hunting crystal cores, and later, they will even develop cultivation methods. As the unmatched empress of the human race, what Arya practiced in her past life was the top-tier crystal breathing technique. Arya understands that her zombie daddy, as an ordinary tier 1 zombie, will struggle to survive in this apocalypse. She has to grow stronger fast to protect both of us. Even as a baby, she can still practice the crystal breathing technique, drawing in the energy particles that now fill the air after the blood moon. As she starts the technique, her tiny body trembles, and energy particles slowly flow into her. Arya feels grateful for her rebirth, that she can practice the crystal breathing technique even in the early days of the apocalypse. A flood of energy particles enters her body, strengthening her bones and reinforcing her weak telekinesis. When I return from downstairs and walk into the bedroom, I see her trembling. I think she has caught a cold and quickly pull a blanket over her. Arya, jolted awake, finds my worried face a little funny, but she also feels the warmth of fatherly love from her zombie daddy. In her past life, she grew up in an orphanage, learning hard lessons about people. This is the first time she has ever felt a father's love. Seeing that little 7 is fine, she starts thinking about how to take care of the zombie outside. A ticking bomb like that needs to be dealt with quickly. At dusk I send out puppet number 1, controlled by my mind, to provoke the tank zombie that is digesting the crystal core inside a storefront. The puppet hits the tank with a flower pot, then turns and runs, successfully luring it into a shop I have already rigged with gas tanks. The moment puppet number 1 runs into the shop, the tank zombie charges, its huge body smashing right through the entrance and crushing my puppet to pieces. Then puppet number 2 slams the door shut and uses a lighter to ignite the gas tanks. The tank zombie, hit by the explosion head-on, unleashes scream after scream of agony from inside the fire. By the time he stumbles out of the shop, he collapses face first at the entrance. After the explosion, I pull my consciousness out of the puppet just in time. Watching the giant zombie lying scorched at the doorway, I wait over 10 minutes to make sure it is truly dead before working up the nerve to approach. Up close, I see the zombie is burned beyond recognition, its body badly destroyed. I swing my cleaver and put a lot of effort into cracking open the back of its skull. Inside, I find a crystal core that is white with a tint of crimson. The pull from this core is even stronger than the pure white one I saw earlier. From what I can tell, a pure white crystal core forms when an already evolved zombie devours other zombies, and this crimson-tinted one is clearly a level above that. As more zombies are drawn in by the firelight, I tuck the core away and pick out 2 zombies with intact limbs to be my new puppets. Back at the complex, I station the new puppets at the entrance to keep watch, then head up to the 3rd floor. Once I am sure it is safe, I cannot hold back my craving for the crystal core any longer, and I swallow it whole. As the crystal core refines my body, my skin shifts even closer to a human form. Beyond looking better, my strength and agility both improve a little too. After a brief dizziness, my mind becomes sharper than ever, my 5 senses grow keener, and controlling zombies feels even easier. Right now, I can control 5 zombies at once. I also gain a new ability called Shared Vision, breaking past the limit of only controlling puppets I can see. Now I can control them remotely. After testing, the maximum mental range is 1,000 meters. Within this range, I can have my puppets act without ever going out myself, which hugely boosts my chances of staying alive. Arya hears the explosion and the screams of the evolved zombie. Since she is on the 7th floor, she is not worried about being found, but the fact that I have not come back makes her heart ache. She knows that in her baby body, she has no chance against a powered-up evolved zombie. She knows how dangerous it is to run into one. All she can do is pray that the heavens do not take away this zombie daddy, who has given her a father's love. She wants to keep practicing the crystal breathing technique, but her mind is too restless to focus. Just then, she hears the sound of the door opening outside. Arya lets out a sigh of relief, and a small smile appears on her face. After all, only her zombie daddy can unlock a door and let himself in. When I come back and see Arya smiling, my heart warms. The thought that my stronger power will let me protect her better makes me happy as I walk into the kitchen to mix her formula. Watching her drink it down with such joy, I feel as if this decaying body of mine is bursting with new life. Over the next 2 days after my power-up, I use telekinesis to control my puppets to gather supplies nearby, turning the lower floors into storage rooms. Besides baby supplies and food, I also find many tools useful against zombies. Even though my days are basically the same routine, I feel deeply fulfilled, because I can clearly feel my power growing stronger. Arya spends her days doing nothing but drinking formula and practicing the crystal breathing technique. She sometimes hears faint sounds from the living room, and thinking back to the strange events 2 days ago, she guesses that I have already run into a mutant zombie with special powers. She knows how strong evolved zombies are. Their presence and combat power far exceed those of ordinary zombies. And ordinary zombies in this new world sit at the bottom of the food chain, facing threats from human survivors, other zombies, and mutant beasts on every side. She feels touched that even in such a tough spot, I have not given up on taking care of her. Thinking about how humanity tends to break down during the apocalypse, she realizes how rare and precious it is that her zombie daddy has held on to the light of his humanity. After many days of practice, her telekinesis has grown much stronger. She can now launch silver needles at incredible speed. Combined with time manipulation, she is confident she can take down enemies in complete silence. But she is not satisfied with this. To survive in the apocalypse, she needs to grow even stronger. At the same time, while I have my puppets out searching the surrounding buildings for supplies, I find an apartment where the previous owner was probably a martial arts enthusiast. They have left behind many combat textbooks, full of close-quarters fighting techniques. My own body, enhanced by zombie evolution, is now stronger than an ordinary person. With my body no longer stiff, I can learn and perform complex combat moves with ease. Zombie attacks are crude and savage, but the modern fighting techniques that humans have developed are far more scientific and effective. Even though my evolution is not focused on close combat, I believe that scientific fighting skills can close the gap in physical ability, and I can take advantage of the fact that zombies do not fear being bitten to use weapons with maximum efficiency. After grasping some fighting fundamentals and training, I bring my puppets up to the 6th floor living room. Once I release my mental control, they become my sparring partners. After all, a zombie that knows martial arts is unstoppable. But after some real practice, I realize that just relying on theory and self-study is nowhere near enough for real combat situations. Only actual fighting can truly sharpen the sense of distance, reading the opponent's moves, and quick judgment. These are the most important skills. After repeated training, my fighting improves noticeably. I can now easily handle a head-on attack from an ordinary zombie. I have gone from a complete beginner to a fighter with real skill, and I find that I can multitask, training in combat while controlling my puppets to search for supplies, using shared vision to keep an eye on the surroundings. Just then I spot two zombies looting on the third floor of Building 1 in the Sunshine residential complex, and then a blood-red figure suddenly appears. Its speed is terrifying. If not for the traces left on the ground, I would have thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. I have my puppets track the blood-red figure, and a few minutes later I finally get a clear look at this zombie. Its appearance is horrifying. Its skin is peeling off, its teeth and tongue are grotesquely warped, and all four limbs have mutated into beast-like claws. It can no longer stand upright and can only move on all fours, but it possesses unmatched speed and explosive power, able to scale walls and ceilings with ease. Facing this blood-red zombie, my puppets are terrified. The zombie moves so fast that it instantly takes out both of my puppets in a flash. What on earth is this monster? Even after my consciousness returns to my own body, my heart is still pounding. After the blood moon, some zombies have evolved abilities beyond imagination. My current strength is nowhere near enough to match it. Even with all 5 puppets together, we could be wiped out in an instant. All I can do now is hope this blood-red zombie does not come to Building 5 where I am. After that, I do not waste any time. Every day, I spar with zombies to build up my strength. A week later, in the 6th floor living room, facing 3 muscular zombies attacking me at once, I move nimbly in the tight space and find the right moments to take them down quickly with my own techniques. While practicing my fighting skills, I have my puppets keep watch on the movements of evolved zombies while they search for supplies. A monster like the blood-red zombie is too dangerous to provoke without enough power, but ones like the giant tank zombie and the stalker zombie I saw before are easier to handle. Through these past few days of experimenting, I have figured out that crystal cores almost always come from the brains of evolved zombies. Meanwhile, up in the 7th floor bedroom, baby Arya, who at first got exhausted just moving a silver needle, can now lift her tiny baby body 1 or 2 centimeters off the bed. For humans, flying through the sky is a dream everyone shares. Arya cannot do that yet, but after all this practice, she has finally gained some ability to protect herself in the apocalypse. What she does not know is that if any of the large survivor camps found out about her, they would all rush to recruit her. A baby who can levitate her own body is a stunning achievement. After finishing combat training on the 6th floor, I have my puppets clean up the dismembered zombies. Just as I am about to head upstairs to feed 7, one of the puppets out scavenging for supplies sends me a new discovery. Not far away, a thin stalker zombie with greatly improved speed is chasing down a sickly, malnourished human survivor. The survivor has run out of stockpiled food and was forced to go out hunting, only to run into the very evolved zombie I have been searching for. The stalker zombie is incredibly fast. It punches its claws right through a car door and uses it to drift around the corner perfectly, catching up to the survivor and killing him. Watching this scene, I realize my chance has come. Ever since I devoured a crystal core and felt that surge of power, I have been hungry for more strength. I immediately send puppets to follow and watch this stalker zombie. I leave 1 puppet to track its movements, and call in 4 more puppets armed with fire axes. Once all 5 puppets are in position, I have them pretend to be ordinary zombies, keeping a safe distance, slowly moving in to surround the stalker zombie, while it feeds on the human flesh. I set things up this way, because the stalker zombie is so fast that if I act recklessly, all my puppets could be wiped out. When the distance between us and the stalker zombie drops to 10 meters, I order the 5 puppets to charge at once. The stalker zombie, relying on its speed, dodges most of the attacks, but thanks to my half-encirclement strategy, its right arm and back still get slashed. However, one of my puppets has its axe stuck between the zombie's ribs, and gets its head ripped apart by the furious stalker. I then have 2 puppets fake a frontal attack to draw the zombie's attention, while 2 others take the chance to resume their attack. The stalker swats away the puppets in front, but it cannot dodge the horizontal slash to its waist. A large chunk of flesh is sliced off. The wounded stalker unleashes a burst of speed and tears apart another puppet's head. But the remaining 3 puppets rush in fast, and the stalker can no longer escape the storm of axes. It is finally killed. After successfully taking down the stalker zombie, I have the remaining puppets dig out the crystal core. Then they head back to the complex. Once back, I station the puppets to guard the building entrance, and carry the crystal core up to the 6th floor. I see that this core is the same as the one I devoured before, a white crystal core with a tint of crimson. It looks like this stalker zombie has also devoured a crystal core before. I swallow it down, and once again feel a massive surge of energy wash through my body. By the time it is over, my power has improved significantly. I can now control 10 zombies at once, and my maximum control range has reached 3,000 meters. Riding the high of my new strength, I pick out 10 zombies with sturdy limbs from the local horde, and arm them with fire axes, forming an imposing zombie squad. Looking at this squad, I am full of confidence. I start imagining building a massive zombie army, dominating the battlefield with my powerful telekinesis and countless puppets. I even decide my strategy will be a Zerg rush, but I have not forgotten the terrifying blood-red monster in Building 1. After my recent fight with the stalker zombie, the monster seems even more terrifying by comparison. Even with 10 puppets, I know too little about it to guarantee victory. I decide to wait a few more days before sending puppets to scout it out, so I can learn its true strength. This monster is like a ticking time bomb that I cannot get out of my head. Over the next 3 days, I turn the 6th floor into a training room. Sparring with zombies, I find that my physical abilities have improved across the board after evolving. I nod with satisfaction. This body of mine finally looks like one that belongs to an apocalypse survivor. After training, I have my puppets clean up the battle debris, wash the blood off myself, and head back up to the 7th floor to feed little 7. Watching her innocent smile, I cannot help but smile back. Her appetite is getting better and better. After feeding her, I use a toy I scavenged to play with little Seven. Arya watches her zombie daddy try to entertain her with such clumsy moves and is at a loss for words. On the outside she looks like a baby, but inside she is a mature, calm, and decisive empress. But still, this is her zombie daddy's good intention, so she gives him a little smile. But to her surprise, when I see her smiling along, I get even more into it. Arya's eye twitches a little. Fine, she will just treat it as practice for her telekinesis. After playing with Arya, I decide to test the strength of the blood-red monster in Building 1. I pick 10 tall and muscular puppets from the ordinary zombie horde, and arm each with a fire axe. The squad looks fierce, but I feel that is not enough. I remember the electric scooter shop on the corner sells helmets, so I have the puppets smash open the shop and equip each one with a full-coverage motorcycle helmet. After all, the head is a zombie's fatal weakness. Even if the body is torn apart, as long as the head is intact, the puppet can still swing an axe right back at the enemy. Once everything is ready, I remotely control this newly equipped puppet squad and march them toward Building 1. With my mental range now reaching 3,000 meters, and knowing I cannot win in close combat, I choose to stay in Building 5 and command from a safe distance. The squad starts on the first floor, carefully searching every room and corner. They pay special attention to the ceilings, in case the blood-red monster who can run along walls and ceilings launches a surprise attack. The puppets quickly clear 4 floors, but they still find no trace of the blood-red monster. What they do not know is that the blood-red monster is clinging to a blind corner on the 5th floor like a spider. As the puppets head upstairs, the monster suddenly attacks. With one strike, it sends the puppet closest to the door flying. Thankfully, the helmet keeps the puppet alive. I quickly command the puppet squad to counterattack, swinging their fire axes. If Arya were here, she would recognize it at a glance. The zombie in front of us is the evolved apocalyptic form known as the Licker. In Arya's past life memory, this zombie caused massive casualties among human survivors in the early days of the apocalypse. Now the Licker is enraged. Its claws move with lightning speed, knocking away several puppets. But under my control, the puppets ignore their own injuries and grab on tightly to its claws. The other puppets bring their axes down on its head. The Licker is trapped in the middle of the puppet circle. Even though it manages to leap away, it still takes hit after hit. I have a few puppets focus their strikes on the same spot. In the end, under my control, 3 puppets together cut off one of the Licker's arms. The wounded Licker leaps up to the ceiling. I have the puppets throw axes at it, but the Licker is just too fast, and my low-tier puppets cannot match its speed in throwing power or accuracy. Their attacks drop off sharply. The Licker smashes through a window and escapes onto the building's outer wall, vanishing in the blink of an eye. I curse myself silently for underestimating its strength. Despite all my preparation, I still let it get away. The Licker zombie moves with frightening speed and can run on the outer walls of buildings as if they were flat ground. This escape could put it on alert, or even drive it to seek revenge. I am grateful I gave the puppets helmets, which kept my losses down. But what worries me most now is this blood-red monster. If it ever sneaks up to Building 5, that would be a disaster. If it finds little Seven and starts climbing the outer wall, there would be no way to defend against it. I quickly come up with a defense plan, stationing 3 strong, fully armed puppets to patrol Building 5. That way, even if the monster sneaks in, I will know right away. I also send out other puppets to search for more evolved zombies. Devouring 2 crystal cores and growing stronger had me feeling pumped, but this blood-red monster makes me realize that I am still just small fry. Meanwhile, up in the 7th floor bedroom, Arya is using her telekinesis to make 2 cloth dolls dance through the air. As an empress in her past life, she does not really care for things like this, but to honor my good intentions. And after realizing that practicing telekinesis with dolls works pretty well, she keeps it up. Sensing that I have returned, Arya quickly hugs the dolls to her chest. When I come in and see her happily playing, my emotions are instantly soothed. Little one, this world is far too dark and broken. I hope that when you grow up, you will not be disappointed by it. You have to be able to grow up carefree, just like you are now. I hope the 2 of us can keep on living through this apocalypse. I look at the bedroom window, and my face turns serious. I head out and bring back wooden boards and nails to seal up the window. Arya watches her zombie daddy with a puzzled look. He has barely been going out these past few days, and now he is boarding up the windows. Could it be that her zombie daddy has sensed how strong the evolved zombies are, and is so scared he wants to hide from the chaos outside? She thinks about it more, and that is the only reason that makes sense. It looks like her zombie daddy really is a coward, but she has overlooked one possibility. The truth is, I am doing all this to protect her. After the blood moon, quite a few awakened humans have emerged. At first they ran from ordinary zombies in panic, but later on, even ordinary humans could easily hunt down these low-tier zombies. I keep hammering nail after nail, and after a while, the window is finally secured. While boarding it up, I left small openings for light and air so the defense holds, but Arya does not have to live in a depressing space. This also buys me reaction time if the blood-red monster shows up. Over the next 3 days, the blood-red monster does not appear, but I still keep my puppets patrolling Building 5. I cannot let my guard down. Suddenly I feel a wave of mental disturbance. One of my puppets, searching a convenience store 2 streets over, has run into several human survivors. At first the survivors think it is just an ordinary zombie, but when the puppet turns to check them out, they are horrified. One of them, a strong man named Bruno, grabs an iron pipe and charges at the puppet. I have the puppet fight back with its fire axe. The moment they clash, I am stunned. The puppets I chose were all the bigger, stronger ones, and zombies are already stronger than ordinary humans. But I never expected this man's strength to be so insane. The fierce force coming through the iron pipe makes the puppet's arm go numb. Bruno's strength is shocking. He knocks the axe right out of the puppet's hand and crushes its head with one blow. Bruno walks up to the fallen puppet, a little puzzled. This world really is something else. Even zombies are using weapons now. Could this be some new type of evolved zombie? But he does not dwell on it. He calls his companions over to grab the supplies fast, worried it might attract more evolved zombies. Seeing Bruno take out a zombie with one swing, his companions look up to him as they loot the shop, showering him with praise. Good thing Bruno is with us, otherwise we would never have found this much food. Yeah, what is an evolved zombie next to Bruno? With Bruno's incredible strength, it is just one swing and they are done. After all, to keep a strong protector in the apocalypse, the group has to put on flattering smiles. Bruno, hearing his companions' praise, feels pretty smug. I am surprised to find human survivors over a month into the apocalypse, especially someone like that man Bruno, whose strength against my puppet was overwhelming. He is probably an awakened human. An ordinary person could never have that kind of power. Given how clever and complicated humans can be, I worry that they might target our supplies and put me and Little Seven in danger. I decide not to send puppets to that area anymore. After the surprise encounter with the human survivors, a few more days pass in the blink of an eye. I have already stopped collecting supplies, because the puppets have been so efficient that every room in Building 5 is now packed with all kinds of supplies. Meanwhile, Arya has been using her telekinesis to practice crawling on the bedroom bed. As her control over her body gets better and better, Arya can crawl across the bed faster and faster. In the end, with the help of her telekinesis, she finally learns how to walk. Just then, I push the door open and walk in. When I see the scene on the bed, my jaw drops. The little one is only a few months old. How was she already walking upright? I am shocked at first, then filled with joy. I had been planning to help Arya adjust to apocalypse life, but I never expected her to learn to walk so young. I carry Arya into the living room, thinking the flat floor will be better for her to practice. Arya adapts quickly with her telekinesis, but since her physical strength is so limited, she has to use telekinesis to balance, and stops after practicing for a little while. Thinking she is tired, I carry her to the sofa to rest. After that, I take my steel cleaver out to the balcony to practice my sword work. After devouring those crystal cores, my body has fully evolved. Right now, as I swing the steel cleaver through the air, it cuts the air with a sharp whistling sound. My current training is just based on old memories of martial arts I had in my past life, imitating simple moves with the cleaver. But I figure that as long as I get stronger, I could shatter someone's guard even with a brick. Arya watches and is genuinely surprised. I am actually working on getting stronger. She had thought I was just an ordinary zombie, but with my human consciousness, I can use weapons, which gives me an advantage among low-tier zombies. However, as the empress of the human race in her past life, Arya has rich experience in combat and martial arts training. She thinks the sword work I am practicing is honestly terrible. If I were to run into any opponent with decent skills, her zombie daddy would be killed in an instant. Meanwhile, when I see Arya staring at me, I mistakenly think she is impressed by my sword work. Feeling rather pleased with myself, I swing even harder. Over the next few days, I let Little Seven move freely in the 6th floor living room. Because I have been training there so often, the 6th floor is more spacious and bright, much better than the 7th floor bedroom with its boarded-up windows. I practice my sword work and combat skills on the balcony, while Arya practices walking in the living room, secretly training her telekinesis at the same time. With my company, the little one's steps grow steadier every day. She really is a prodigy. But deep down, Arya's sense of urgency keeps growing. After the Blood Moon mutation, zombies and mutant beasts are evolving like crazy. Ordinary zombies like me will sooner or later have no place left to survive, so she has to grow up fast. At the very least, she cannot be a burden in this apocalypse. While we are both improving in our own ways, a furious roar suddenly comes from outside. My focus snaps to it, and I immediately switch to my puppet's view. Down on the green strip of the complex, 2 mutated zombies are locked in a fierce battle. One is a tank zombie nearly 2.5 meters tall. Its swinging fists create whirlwinds, and each punch slams a deep crater into the ground. The other is the licker I saw before, crouched on all fours, moving with terrifying speed. Its sharp claws are like curved blades. The 2 powerful evolved zombies are locked in a brutal stalemate. My heart races with excitement. This is a golden opportunity. 2 evolved zombies appearing at the same time, wearing each other down. As long as I wait for them to take each other down, I can swoop in and claim the rewards. I head straight out the door and go downstairs to assemble my puppet squad. Arya hears the noise outside and is at a loss for words. She does not know I have the ability to control puppets. She thinks I am about to go fight evolved zombies head-on, but she still cannot move freely yet, so all she can do is pray quietly inside. As I head downstairs, I start calling in all of my puppets. 10 fully armed puppets quietly approach the green strip. After a long, vicious fight, the 2 zombies have finally worn each other out. The blood-red monster has torn off one of the tank zombie's arms, and the tank zombie finally falls dead. The blood-red monster wins, but barely. Just as it is about to take the crystal core, my puppet squad suddenly surrounds it. The blood-red monster lets out a furious roar, trying to scare off the puppets, but the ones I am controlling are unaffected by its pressure. The puppets swing their fire axes in mindless attacks. Out in the open, the monster loses its advantage of running on walls. While it hesitates, it ends up surrounded in the middle. The crystal cores from both evolved zombies are now mine. I am thrilled. I have my puppets quickly return to the complex. Both crystal cores are mostly red, clearly showing that these zombies have devoured many others. Back on the third floor, I cannot wait any longer and swallow both crystal cores at once. The energy this time far surpasses anything before, but the most critical change is in my mind. A terrifying flood of mental power rushes into my head, pushing far past what I can handle. I do not last long before I pass out. Up on the 7th floor, Arya is so anxious she is rolling around on the sofa. With no sign of me for so long, she has completely given up hope. She thinks I died at the hands of the evolved zombies. Poor zombie daddy, why could you not just wait for me a little longer? Just as she is grieving, the door lock clicks. Arya's head snaps up, and a smile instantly spreads across her face. She jumps off the sofa and toddles over to me, wobbling all the way. Daddy! I freeze, struck like I've been hit by lightning, unable to move. Little 7 just called me daddy. I have lived 2 lives, never even dated a girlfriend, and suddenly someone is calling me daddy. The strange thrill of it leaves me at a loss for what to do. Arya is stunned too. She was just too excited and she could not hold back what was on her mind. The word slipped out before she could stop it, but she quickly relaxes. After all, with her past life soul, speaking has never been a problem for her. She just has not practiced using her voice since being reborn. As for me, none of this even crosses my mind. All I can think is that little 7 is an absolute prodigy. She learned to speak all by herself. I let out 2 excited low growls to show my joy, but I cannot form words. After this evolution is complete, the number of puppets I can control has increased to 30, and my mental range has reached a stunning 8,000 meters. With this kind of power, I immediately start expanding my army. Meanwhile, after eating her fill, Arya is no longer willing to drink formula. She opens her mouth, showing me 2 rows of tiny baby teeth, telling me she does not want milk anymore. For a moment, I feel embarrassed. I do not even know these things as well as little 7 does. So I run down to the 6th floor, start a fire, and cook some rice porridge. I add formula powder and mash it into a paste. The little one takes the spoon and starts feeding herself, even complaining that I am clumsy. Daddy, let me just do it myself. Watching her eat with such delight, my heart is full of emotion. Little 7 has finally grown up. After my power-up, a bold idea pops into my head. Can I control evolved zombies? The chance comes very soon. One of my puppets spots a lone tank zombie a few thousand meters away. I have my puppets disguise themselves as ordinary zombies and slowly approach. Within 100 meters, I unleash my mental power. The mental defense of an evolved zombie is indeed stronger than that of an ordinary one. I feel clear resistance, but my evolved telekinesis is even more powerful. I quickly break through its defense and turn it into one of my puppets. I name him Hulk. This guy is incredibly muscular, his arms thick as cages. I grab 2 massive iron hammers from a hardware store, each weighing over 100 pounds, and give them to him. When he swings them, the air howls. With him standing at the complex gate, he's basically a guardian god. With Hulk on duty, my sense of security skyrockets. Soon after, I also subdue an evolved stalker zombie and name him Flash. He is incredibly fast and skilled with dual blades, which perfectly makes up for Hulk's lack of speed. 1 for offense, 1 for defense, plus over 20 ordinary puppets, and I feel like I can walk like a king through this apocalypse. Meanwhile, Hulk runs into a mutant giant hound while searching for supplies. It is nearly 2 meters long, with thick jet black fur, and a body as bulky as a wild boar. This is the first time I see a mutated creature other than zombies in this apocalypse. I have Hulk move in. Hulk smashes the hound's front leg with 1 swing of his hammer, and follows up by crushing its skull. From the hound's brain, I pull out a white crystal core, so mutant beasts also carry crystal cores. I haul the hound's body back to the complex, eat some of the flesh to satisfy my hunger, and leave the rest for Hulk. The fresh meat heals Hulk's wounds at a visible rate. After devouring the crystal cores from the mutant hound and another tank zombie I just ran into, my mental power rises again. But Arya has no idea about any of this. While I am out, Arya sneaks downstairs to investigate. She finds that every floor from the 3rd to the 6th is packed with supplies. Formula stacked into mountains, bottled water piled to the ceiling, and tons of baby supplies and food. Oh my god, how much stuff did my zombie daddy hoard? Beyond being shocked, she's even more certain of her judgment. An ordinary zombie could never haul this much. She guesses it must be some kind of burrowing ability, moving through the ground to transport things fast. When she reaches the 1st floor balcony and sees Hulk standing at the door with his twin hammers, she is even more convinced. Daddy must use burrowing to come and go. In reality, Hulk is just a puppet I am controlling, but Arya does not know that. She secretly decides that once she is strong enough, she will take out this giant first to clear the path for Daddy. She also digs up the property contract and learns that she is in Riverhaven City. She quickly searches her past life memory. Riverhaven City had 2 famous powerhouses. One was a policewoman with 9 resurrections, known as the 9 Lives Reaper. The other was a mutated white bear who wielded the power of lightning, known as Thunder Roar. If she can recruit the 9 Lives Reaper before she fully grows into her power, it will be a massive boost in the future. Not long after, a military helicopter flies over the city and drops leaflets. The Riverhaven military has set up a survivor base outside the city. I glance at it and toss it aside. I am a zombie. A human base has nothing to do with me. Arya gives a cold smile and crumples the leaflet. In her past life, she lived in a survivor base. It was full of darkness and injustice. Compared to staying with those scheming humans, she would rather stay with her zombie daddy. While I keep growing stronger, a policewoman named Selena from the nearby station leads a few colleagues to the Sunshine Residential Complex to find a truck. She wants to drive the truck and lead the survivors out of the city, but at the entrance she runs into Hulk. Selena picks up a stone and throws it at Hulk, hoping to lure him away. When that gets no reaction, she pulls out her pistol and fires a shot. The moment I see her aim a gun at Hulk, I get furious. No matter your reason, shoot at my puppet and you die. I have Hulk raise his hammer to block the bullet, then swing his arm and hurl the massive hammer straight at Selena. She never expects a zombie to throw a hammer. She cannot dodge in time. The hammer crushes her, killing her on the spot. The other officers who entered the complex are all wiped out by my puppets too. I take a few police pistols and ammo from their bodies, but late that night, something bizarre happens. Selena's corpse actually comes back to life in a flash of crimson light. Her crushed, broken body is restored, and her strength is doubled. Watching this through Hulk's eyes, I am stunned. What the hell? This policewoman just came back from the dead. Selena herself is just as confused. She checks her body and finds not a single wound. Her strength and speed have soared. She realizes she might be awakened with the power to resurrect after death. The next day, Selena comes back with more people, this time with even more fully armed officers. I am furious. I spared this woman last time and she dares to come back and provoke me again. This time I have 3 evolved zombies surround her, but after her resurrection her power has exploded. She can actually move freely through the attacks of all 3. I have a puppet gunner open fire, but she manages to dodge most of the bullets. In the end I find a chance and kill her again. This time I smash her to pieces to make sure, but that very night she comes back again and her strength has doubled once more. You have got to be kidding me. This woman is hacking the game. I am speechless. She comes back every time she dies, and she gets stronger each time. What is worse, there is a hidden awakened secretly helping Selena. Every time my attack is about to land on her, some strange force freezes it for a full second. The hidden force can even make bullets curve in midair. That hidden awakened is actually Arya. She had figured out earlier that there seemed to be a zombie king in the complex secretly controlling all the zombies. So she used Mind Whisper, a secret technique, to team up with Selena, disguising herself as a mysterious master called the Shadow. Together, they plan to kill the zombie king. Selena, thinking she has found a kindred ally, gladly agrees to the partnership. On the night of the operation, Selena lures Hulk away from the gate and successfully breaks into the complex, but I personally block her in front of Building 5. To protect Little 7 on the 7th floor, I have pulled all my puppets back around Building 5. With my cleaver in hand, I strike out in pure rage, every move brutal and merciless, nothing like the gentle me she usually sees. Arya watches in secret from the 2nd floor of Building 1, using her time manipulation again and again to stop my killing blows. But she only protects Selena from being hurt. She never lets Selena harm me. Selena is completely confused. Which side is this Shadow on? My attack on this zombie just got blocked too? Arya only sends back one message. You cannot touch this zombie. The fight grows more intense. Selena desperately tries to break into Building 5, but I block her every time. I let out scream after scream, the rage of a man protecting his loved ones, until the temperature in the whole complex seems to drop. At that moment, Arya finally sees the truth. When Selena charges at Building 5, every zombie in the complex rushes madly toward Building 5. They are not protecting some zombie king. They are protecting her on the 7th floor. And the one giving the order, the one driving every zombie to fight to the death, is her zombie daddy. Wait, could daddy be the zombie king? At this moment, every clue connects. Her zombie daddy is the very zombie king she has been trying to hunt down. I am such an idiot. Arya almost ended up digging out her own daddy's crystal core to feed it back to him. Once she realizes the truth, she immediately stops helping Selena. Without her secret support, Selena instantly falls behind. I control 3 evolved zombies, join the fight myself, and beat her like a punching bag. Shadow, you really screwed me over. That is Selena's last thought before she blacks out. After I knock her out, I write a note and toss it to her. Stay alive. If you die, everyone at your station dies with you. Selena, with her bleeding heart kindness, finally caves. She cannot bring herself to let others die because of her. The days that follow grow quieter. Every day I spar with Flash to sharpen my combat skills. I also bring back a learning tablet and flashcards for Little 7. The little one grows at an amazing pace. She can already read, write, and do arithmetic. I think my daughter has the makings of a true genius. Arya, meanwhile, pretends to learn from the tablet, babbling out baby sounds. Inside, she is completely fed up. In her past life, she made it into graduate school at a top university. Now she has to relearn baby-level education. At the same time, every day when I am out, she sneaks downstairs to chat with Selena. They get along surprisingly well. Selena has no defenses against this innocent, adorable little girl, and tells her everything about herself. Arya, meanwhile, is secretly plotting how to recruit this 9 Lives Reaper. She knows Selena has the potential to break through to the Imperial realm someday. Winning her over would be a massive boost. I notice that Little 7 enjoys chatting with Selena, and I do not mind. After all, having a human to talk to is good for Little 7. I just make sure to lock Selena's iron chains tight every time, and assign Flash 1 to keep a close watch. Then one day, a puppet sends back new intel. On a distant street appears a Tier 2 tyrant zombie like nothing I have ever seen. Its arms have fully transformed into razor claws. Its strength and speed are terrifying beyond belief. A human awakened is being chased, and barely escaping. That man is Bruno, the strong man who fought my puppet before. The tyrant zombie's wounds actually heal on their own. Bruno slashes it several times, but it does no good. In the end, Bruno ducks into a narrow alley and barely makes it out alive. An idea sparks in my mind. This tyrant zombie is too strong. I cannot beat it head on, but But I have a better plan. I have flash lured the tyrant to the area near the police station. Selena happens to be on her way back from a supply run. The moment she spots the tyrant, she draws its attention without hesitation to protect her people at the station. Let them fight, and I will take the prize. After fighting hard, Selena realizes she cannot win, so she lures the tyrant to a gas station and shoots the fuel tank. The gas station erupts into flames. The tyrant struggles out of the inferno, charred all over but somehow still alive, but its wounds are devastating. I immediately send Titan and Flash to charge in. Badly wounded, the tyrant cannot withstand Titan's massive 1-ton steel staff. It quickly drops. Unable to stand, Flash takes the opening and slashes with his blades, finally killing the tyrant. When I pull out the Tier 2 crystal core, I am thrilled. But this time, I do not rush to swallow it. First, I cook for Little 7 and set up the defenses. Only then do I head to Building 4 and swallow the core. The massive surge of energy pushes me straight into Tier 3. My body undergoes a complete transformation, and my mental power explodes several times over. My control range expands from 10,000 meters to tens of kilometers. I can now command up to 100 ordinary puppets, and even Tier 2 evolved zombies are easy to handle. I can outpace Flash, the Stalker zombie, and overpower Hulk the Tank zombie head-on. Now I finally look the part of an apocalypse survivor. Not long after breaking through to Tier 3, I subdue another Tier 2 tank zombie. This one as large as a small car. I name him Titan and give him a 1-ton steel staff. One swing from Titan can turn a car into scrap metal. Thrown, it can pierce concrete walls. With Titan guarding the complex gate, even evolved zombies dare not approach. Meanwhile, Arya has also secretly broken through to Tier 3. After her breakthrough, her telekinesis grows much stronger. She can launch iron nails at incredible speed. Combined with her time manipulation, she can kill in complete silence. In all of this apocalypse, she is already among the top-tier human powerhouses. At some point, a manual titled The Blood Reaver Saber Art appears at my feet. I assume it is a secret manual left by some mysterious master, so I start studying it. Little do I know, Arya secretly wrote it in a workbook and tossed it to me. This saber art uses blood as a guide, refining killing intent. Once mastered, it needs no weapon. The killing aura of one's own blood becomes the strongest blade in the world. I progress rapidly after taking it up. My combat power leaps to a new level, but the peace breaks when a 5-man awakened squad arrives in Riverhaven City from the survivor base to gather supplies. They notice that all the supplies near the Sunshine Residential Complex have been cleaned out. They track my supply hauling puppets back to the complex and climb the wall to sneak in at night, but they have no idea I spot them the moment their feet touch the ground. My puppet army quickly surrounds them. Flash 2 cuts down one awakened in an instant. Hulk's twin hammers send 2 close combat awakened staggering back. In the middle of the chaos, I step in myself. With one horizontal slash from my newly trained Blood Reaver saber art, I cut the last fleeing awakened clean in half. From their bodies, I find IDs from the survivor base. I realize the human forces are growing faster than I expected. The Sunshine Complex will be exposed sooner or later. I decide to move. The target is Clearwater Farm on the outskirts. It is open, with farmable land far from human forces, and surrounded by plenty of zombies to keep my army growing. Most importantly, it gives Little 7 a better place to grow up. Little 7 cannot stay locked away in a concrete tower forever. She needs sunlight, fresh air, and fresh vegetables. Speaking of vegetables, my heart aches for the little one. Her diet has been so monotonous for so long, just formula, fried rice, and porridge, day after day. Not even a single leaf of vegetables. Once we are at the farm, I can have my puppets till the fields and grow fresh produce for Little 7. Before we leave, there's one more thing I need to handle. Selena. Her resurrection ability is just too tricky, too dangerous to kill, too risky to keep, but since we are leaving anyway, I might as well just let her go and never see her again. I tell Little 7 my decision. She nods sweetly, then asks, will Selena be willing to come with us? I know in my heart, with Selena's personality, she cannot abandon the survivors at the station. She will not come. While I am not looking, Arya secretly slips a note into Selena's hand. Clearwater Farm. Before leaving, Selena asks Arya, do you still remember our promise? Arya smiles and says, if one day you find that this world is not as beautiful as you imagined, and you no longer want to protect everyone else, remember to come and protect me. After Selena limps back to the station, she finds a scene that shatters her. The survivors she fought so hard to protect have become man-eating monsters. They have killed every officer who refused to join them. They even killed Selena herself. Selena resurrects for the 3rd time, her power surging again. She personally executes them, leaving not one alive. The last young man kneels on the ground begging, Officer Selena, you are a good person. I just wanted to live. I did not mean to. She turns to leave, but behind her comes the sound of a pistol being cocked. She lunges like lightning and breaks his ribs with one punch. Why? Why did you lie to me? Looking at the bodies all over the floor, Selena's heart turns to ash. She remembers Arya's words. What if those people are not worth protecting at all? Yes, are scum like this really worth protecting? Looking at the note in her hand that says Clearwater Farm, Selena takes one last look at the station she once planned to dedicate her life to, then turns and vanishes into the night. Little 7, I am coming for you. On the day of departure, 5 heavy trucks roll out of the Sunshine Residential Complex in a long convoy. The drivers are all zombies, and behind them follows an army of over 100 fully armed puppets. Zombies driving trucks makes the jaws of every survivor along the way drop to the floor. An awakened scavenging in a shop watches 5 heavy trucks roar past, each driven by a snarling zombie face. Am I hallucinating? Zombies are driving trucks now? Along the road, more evolved zombies are drawn to the convoy's noise. I take them all, adding them to my ranks with my telekinesis. My puppet army does not shrink. It keeps growing. As we pass near the Riverhaven Zoo, a Tier 2 mutant giant python with a fully golden body is coiled across the street, blocking the entire road. It is over 20 meters long, its scales shining with golden light. 2 scouting puppets get swallowed whole in one bite. I have Titan take the lead with his steel staff. One swing slams the python's head and dazes it. Hulk and the other tank zombies block the sides to keep the python from slithering away. The stalker zombies swarm in, slashing at its body with steel blades. At the critical moment, a tyrant zombie leaps down from a building and drives its claws into the python's vital point, tearing open a massive wound. Titan follows up and crushes the python's skull with one strike. After extracting the Tier 2 crystal core, I decide to give it to Titan. Cores below Tier 3 are not very useful to me anymore, but they can make my puppets much stronger. Quality over quantity. I want to build an elite force made entirely of high-tier evolved zombies. Arya looks at the python, her eyes practically sparkling. Daddy, I want to eat snake meat. The little one has been eating formula and fried rice every day. She is sick of it. Seeing a snake this big, she can barely tear her eyes away. But I am not sure if humans can eat mutant beast meat. I have to put it on hold and find a human survivor later to test it. Once Daddy makes sure it is safe, I will cook it for you. Arya is a little disappointed, but she understands Daddy's caution. She knows that mutant beast meat is not only edible, it is a powerful tonic. She just cannot explain how she knows. The convoy keeps moving. The skyscrapers on both sides fade away, replaced by barren but open countryside. I check the map. Just 10 more minutes, and we will reach Clearwater Farm. The evening sun dyes the sky blood red. I watch the scenery roll by, then glance at little Seven, who is leaning against the window, quietly looking outside. The sunset glows in her eyes. This is the first time since her rebirth that she has left the Sunshine Complex to see the outside world. I reach out and gently pinch her little cheek. Little Seven looks up and gives me a sweet smile. Daddy, the world outside is so big. Yes, the world out there is huge and it is dangerous, but no matter what this world becomes, as long as little Seven is by my side, everything has meaning. On the horizon, a vast farm slowly comes into view. That is our new home, Clearwater Farm. Meanwhile, behind us, dozens of kilometers back in the ruins of Riverhaven City, a figure radiating terrifying power is racing along the tire tracks. The gentleness and kindness in Selena's eyes are gone, replaced by cold determination. But when she thinks of that little girl smiling at her with a bottle in hand, the corners of her lips still tilt up without her noticing. After arriving at Clearwater Farm, I follow the map, drive along the forest path for a while, and finally see the farm's main gate. The steel gate is flanked by walls of wooden posts and wire fencing, hung with high-voltage warning signs. The wire shows signs of force damage. Sitting in the truck, I survey the farm with satisfaction. Clearwater Farm is quiet on all sides, hard to spot, and much larger than the Sunshine Complex. There is more than enough room for me, Seven, and my massive puppet army. Most importantly, this place is not as suffocating, making it perfect for the little one to grow up. Daddy, are we there yet? Arya stretches. I nod, then send a team of puppets through the broken section of the wall to scout the farm. The moment they enter, my brow furrows. The farm is covered in dried, dark brown bloodstains. I focus on finding the vegetable garden, only to find that all the crops have been destroyed, with massive footprints on the ground. It looks like some mutant animal lives on this farm. Right then, the sound of fighting and animal roars echoes from deeper inside. I have my puppets follow the sound. In the livestock area, they find a mutant bull. The most absurd thing is, this yellow bull has grown fangs more exaggerated than a lion or tiger. It is gnawing on the corpse of some unknown animal. After the apocalypse, even cows have switched to eating meat. When the bull notices the puppets, it charges without hesitation. This guy is already at Tier 2 level. Ordinary puppets are no match. I send in Titan and Tyrant 1 to engage. Titan slams his staff into the bull's head, making it see stars. Tyrant 1 takes the chance to rip a huge wound with his claws, but the bull's hide has evolved to be incredibly tough. Luckily, it does not dodge. After a few exchanges, it finally collapses. Tyrant 1's claws pierce through its skull, and I extract a Tier 2 crystal core that is almost amber. After dealing with the bull, the search continues. On the west side, by the fish pond, I notice a wide crawling trail along the shore. When my puppets approach the water, a giant turtle suddenly bursts out and bites off a puppet's ankle. That is one massive turtle. Its shell is incredibly hard. When a puppet punches it, the recoil snaps its wrist. I have no plans to kill it right now. I just stationed 2 puppets on the shore to keep it from coming up. A turtle that has lived 1,000 years. Once I confirm mutant beast meat is safe to eat, I will save it to nourish Seven. After searching the farm inside and out twice and confirming it is safe, I begin a thorough cleanup. Once the residential area is spotless, I take Seven's hand and lead her in. So this is where Daddy and I will live from now on? It really does look quite nice. Arya looks around curiously, her eyes full of anticipation. After moving in, my top priority is security. Titan stands at the south gate with his staff. Flash 1, 2 and 3 each lead a team of puppets to guard the other 3 sides. Hulk and Tyrant 1 stay close to protect 7. The whole farm becomes an iron cage that is nearly impossible to break into. Watching 7 sleep peacefully, my heart fills with pride. Sleep well, little 7. Clearwater Farm is our new home now. When 7 wakes up the next day, I have already made breakfast, with a plate of fresh fruit on the table. The orchard on the north side of the farm still has plenty of fruit hanging from the trees. 7's eyes light up, and she breathes in the fruity scent in pure bliss. After breakfast, she heads outside and sees teams of fully armed zombies patrolling the farm in perfect order. Daddy is really amazing. His control over these zombies is far better than an ordinary zombie king. She hugs my leg, begging to go for a walk. I give in and take her to the vegetable plot. When 7 sees my puppets actually farming, she is stunned. In my past life, I grew up in the countryside and farmed with my grandparents. I know a thing or two about farming, so I am confident I can restore the ruined fields. Meanwhile, I feed the 2 Tier 2 mutant beast crystal cores I had saved to Titan. Titan successfully advances to Tier 3. His body swells up like a balloon until he is the size of a truck. Pitch black scales start growing across his body, impenetrable to blades or bullets. Even bullets bounce off. I test it with my cleaver, and the scales only show some scratches. With this, Titan becomes the main battle tank of the zombie world. With a Tier 3 powerhouse guarding the gate, my confidence soars. At the same time, I find a new path to power. Since high-tier zombies are rare, I will feed crystal cores to my puppets myself. During this time, 7 has been sneaking off to the fish pond to feed the mutant ancient turtle. For 3 days straight, she feeds it mutant python meat, with her own blood hidden inside. On the 3rd day, she uses the ancient beast taming art she obtained from a sealed realm in her past life. She forms a contract with the giant turtle. From now on, she can give it simple commands and even communicate with it through her mind. She also teaches it a breathing cultivation method, planning to one day raise it into a powerhouse like the black tortoise from her past life. I am completely clueless about all this. I just think 7 likes the old turtle as a pet, so I let her be. Next, I build 7 a small amusement park. I haul a carousel and other rides back from the city, and since there is no electricity, I have zombies push them by hand. When 7 sees it, she has no real interest in these kitty toys, but she knows it is Daddy's heart, so she plays along and pretends to be happy. But she never expected this. Having grown up as an orphan in her past life, she never had a carefree childhood. Now her inner child wakes up and she has the time of her life. As we chase each other on the carousel, if you ignore the puppets pushing it by hand, it would be such a heartwarming scene. But while Flash One was hauling the rides back and forth, an awakened named Leon, with the power of invisibility, was watching from the shadows. He followed Flash One's truck all the way to Clearwater Farm. What he sees inside shatters his worldview. In the end, he discovers a human little girl living among the zombies. He guesses 7 is the one controlling all of them. Greed takes over. He plans to take her hostage and seize the entire zombie army. When Leon sneaks invisibly into 7's bedroom, dagger raised to strike, he freezes in place. Arya has activated Time Stop. Then she leaps up and lands a hard slap that sends him flying. Then, using the soul vessel art she gained in her past life, she etches a crimson rune into his mind, taking complete control of his life and death. Do you want to die or do you want to live? Leon chooses to surrender without a moment's hesitation. Arya orders him to infiltrate the Riverhaven survivor base as a spy and report back regularly. I have no idea any of this is happening. I only see 7 playing happily on the farm every day. A few more days pass. While I am out in the city harvesting evolved zombies and stocking up on crystal cores, I unexpectedly run into Selena again on a nearby street. Damn it! How did this woman end up here too? It turns out, after the disaster at the police station, Selena chased after us, just to find 7. She has had a rough journey, nearly driven mad by harassment from the vengeful liquor zombie. I knock her out and chain her to the slide in the amusement park. But this time, Selena's personality seems to have completely changed. After the betrayal at the station, she is utterly disillusioned with humanity. All she wants is to protect 7. 7 takes the chance to slowly win her over, bringing her meals and chatting with her. Selena finally lives a comfortable life since the apocalypse began, with food, water, and no fear. Even she herself has to admit, living with the Zombie King is somehow more comfortable than being among humans. Meanwhile, I keep growing stronger, harvesting evolved zombies in the South River district and feeding crystal cores to my forces. My Tier 2 puppets now number over 30. One night, after hunting mutant beasts in Golden Dragon Mountain, I claim a Tier 3 crystal core. Combined with the steady harvest from the Stadium Zombie Farm, I have finally gathered enough to break through to Tier 4. I swallow 4 Tier 3 crystal cores at once, and break through to Tier 4 on the spot. My mental power explodes several times over, and my control range surges past 50 kilometers. My body undergoes a complete transformation. Aside from my dark red pupils, I look almost identical to a living person. Next, I quickly raise 4 Tier 4 puppets in a row. Meanwhile, Arya has also secretly broken through to Tier 4. Her telekinesis has grown so strong she can fly for long stretches and use all kinds of elemental arts. She uses Spirit Link to control bees to watch over the farm inside and out. And while I am not looking, she uses blood refinement art on the bloodthirsty vines surrounding the farm, bringing them fully under her control. These bloodthirsty vines are mutant plants I transplanted from Golden Dragon Mountain. They can drain a living creature dry of blood and flesh, but ignore zombies completely. I planted them a kilometer out from the farm to form a defensive line. But after 7 refines them with blood, this barrier becomes a killing array she can command at will. But a crisis is closing in. The River Haven Survivor Base, due to a zombie tide appearing in the capital, has officially announced the concept of the Zombie King. The earlier encounter by Wade's squad in the South River District has caught High Command's attention. They send a recon team made of invisibility users like Leon to investigate. When Arya senses Leon approaching, she flies out of the farm at night to meet him and orders him to report back that they found no Zombie King. But she also has him kill the squad captain who would not cooperate, and uses the soul vessel to control the other three. But Wade is incredibly sharp. Sensing something off about the recon team, he sets a trap and uses hypnosis during interrogation. The soul seal activates, and Leon and the other three drop dead on the spot. I knew it. Something was wrong. Beyond his shock, Wade is now even more certain that a Zombie King is hiding in the South River District. When the news reaches the top, the commander erupts in fury and orders 3 elite squads to head to the South River District for a capture mission. When Arya senses Leon and the others die, she feels the soul disturbance and knows their cover is blown. The storm is coming, but she stays calm. At her current power, as long as the humans do not deploy a full-scale military force, mere awakened squads are no match for her and Daddy. She throws all her energy into cultivation. Once she breaks through to Tier 5, even facing a human military armed with heavy weapons, she is confident she can handle them. As for me, I have no idea about all these undercurrents. I am still hunting mutant beasts in Golden Dragon Mountain, stockpiling crystal cores for my puppet army. The 3 elite squads land on the outskirts of the South River District. Wade is in command. Lance and Hayden, the 2 team captains, support him. Among them is an awakened with the codename Falcon, who can share vision with his contracted mutant Blackhawk. Falcon makes a discovery fast. Oh my god, a zombie really is driving. He sees an evolved zombie driving a truck through the district, hauling mutant beast flesh to the stadium to feed a horde of zombies. Wade makes a quick call. Stick with that truck. See where it goes. I have no clue. After my puppet finishes feeding the stadium zombies, it drives back to Clearwater Farm. Above the truck, the Black Hawk follows like a shadow. The Hawk trails the truck all the way to the outskirts of Clearwater Farm. Through the Hawk's eyes, Falcon takes in the full view of the farm. Found it. That zombie drove the truck into a farm on the outskirts. Falcon reports in a low voice. The defenses are incredibly tight. Outside the walls there is a huge patch of blood-red vines, and at the gate stands a massive zombie the size of a 2-story building. The 3 commanders' faces go pale. The Zombie King's lair is in that farm. Hayden swallows hard. That giant at the gate is at least a Tier 3 tank zombie with that kind of defense. I also see several enormous evolved zombies patrolling inside, all of them giving off terrifying auras, at least 4 or 5 at Tier 3 level. But Falcon cannot see everything. The Black Hawk's altitude is too high to fully scout the inside. What do we do? Attack directly? Lance asks with a frown. Wade shakes his head. No, we do not know enough. Rushing in is too risky. Let us send the intel back to base and let High Command decide. And those blood-red vines do not look right. They look like some kind of mutant plant. They could be a defense the Zombie King set up. What about that mysterious little girl? If the Zombie King's lair is at this farm, she is probably inside too. But the biggest threat right now is not the girl. It is the Zombie King himself. If we alert him, we all die here. After discussing it, the 3 decide to hold off, sending the farm's location and defense details back to the River Haven base via comms, waiting for orders. The news quickly reaches the commander. The conference room sinks into heavy silence again. Sir, Wade's team has confirmed the location. The farm's defenses are extremely tight, with several Tier 3 or higher evolved zombies guarding it. Outside the walls is a defense line made of unknown mutant plants. Tier 3 zombies. The commander frowns deeply. How many Tier 3 awakened do we have at the base right now? No more than 10, and they are scattered across different posts. We cannot pull them all out. The room falls silent. Everyone knows that with the base's current strength, storming a stronghold defended by multiple Tier 3 zombies gives them almost no chance of victory. We cannot force it. The commander finally makes the call. Step up surveillance, figure out the Zombie King's patterns and the upper limit of his power. At the same time, report to the capital and request reinforcements, and speed up training our own high-tier awakened. Before help arrives from the capital, absolutely do not tip him off. But what they do not know is Titan, the one standing at the farm gate, is already Tier 4. Including me, Clearwater Farm actually has 6 Tier 4 fighters, and they are still measuring me by Tier 3 standards. Inside Clearwater Farm, I finish a day of hunting, head home and make 7 a hearty dinner. 7 eats happily, smiling at me with rice on her cheek. Selena also obediently eats the food 7 brought her, sneaking glances at me as she eats. How did the Zombie King change again? If you do not look closely, he could pass as a living person. She is stunned. A wild guess pops into her mind. Could the Zombie King eventually evolve into a real human? That night, 7 suddenly comes to Selena. If humans came to fight my daddy, which side would you help? Selena is silent for a long time, giving no answer. 7 does not mind. As she turns to leave, she says, "Fine, there is no point talking to you." Selena sits weakly on the bed, watching 7 walk away. Her thoughts churn. Humans and the Zombie King will eventually become enemies, but Selena thinks back to what happened at the station. Then she thinks about this farm, how 7 brings her meals and chats with her every day. The Zombie King may keep her chained like a pet, but he has never actually hurt her. She suddenly feels ridiculous. Selena lies back down, staring up at the slide above her, through a sleepless night. Dozens of kilometers away, on a high ridge, Wade's Blackhawk still circles above Clearwater Farm. Falcon suddenly opens his eyes. Captain Wade, a truck just left the farm heading toward Golden Dragon Mountain again. Wade nods. Keep watching. Log his daily patterns. Departure time, route, return time, all of it. And find a way to see deeper into the core of the farm, especially where that zombie king actually is. The Black Hawk circles silently high in the sky, taking in every inch of Clearwater Farm. Arya sits on a swing, gliding back and forth, her white dress flowing in the wind, a bright smile on her rosy face. Little Seven, looks like things are settled. Leaning against the slide, Selena watches Seven. You finally came out today. Arya nods. Even if the Riverhaven base sends people to the farm now, they are just walking into death. So, Little Seven, you will come out every day from now on? Selena sounds hopeful. Sitting alone in the amusement park has been so dull. Of course. Arya nods seriously. If she wants to recruit this 9 Lives Reaper, she has to build the bond. Selena suddenly says, I will help you and your daddy. Arya realizes this is Selena's answer to the question from the other day. The answer surprises her. Selena has always been loyal to the authorities, valuing the protection of survivors more than her own life. Why? Because I promised I would protect you. Selena speaks solemnly. She believes the Zombie King has human consciousness and has never slaughtered humans. With Little Seven to live for, the Zombie King is not aggressive. But if humans ever threaten Little Seven, no one knows if the Zombie King will go berserk. Meanwhile, the Black Hawk follows the truck all the way out of the South River district and over the farm on the outskirts. Through the Hawk's eyes, Falcon takes in the entire farm. But what shocks him most is a little girl swinging on a swing, with a human woman leaning against the slide, chatting with her. Captains, I found the mysterious little girl, and there is a human woman with her. When the news comes back, the 3 captains exchange looks. Wade says gravely, could it be this little girl is the Zombie King? Arya suddenly feels an uncomfortable sense of being watched. She quietly sends her telekinesis spreading out in waves, and detects a Black Hawk circling overhead. This is definitely not a wild mutant beast. It is an Awaken's contracted creature. Arya quickly figures it out. The Riverhaven base must have sent people again. She launches a telekinesis attack. An invisible arrow pierces the Black Hawk's brain. The hawk wobbles. Falcon thinks it is just exhaustion and quickly calls it back. Arya smiles knowingly. She then takes control of a sparrow and follows. The sparrow tracks them all the way to a ravine outside the city, where it finds the 3 captains. Through the sparrow, Arya overhears their entire plan for a night raid. What is most amusing to her is that these people think she is the Zombie King. After Arya's consciousness returns, she runs straight to me, pointing at the sky. Daddy, I just saw a flying person. A flying person? Could a human awakened have found the farm? After confirming with Little Seven, I am certain the farm has been exposed. With Awakened suddenly closing in, my mood turns grim. I immediately recall the entire puppet army. All 4 Tier 4 puppets gather near the residence to protect Seven. Selena senses something is off too. Little Seven, what is going on? What else could it be? Human Awakened are coming for trouble. Can you tell your daddy to unchain me? I can help too. Arya shakes her head with a smile. I do not need you yet. My daddy can handle it. Night falls. I sit in the living room with my eyes closed, focused, watching the farm inside and out through my puppet's eyes. In a forest 2 kilometers from the farm, the 3 awakened squads emerge. We are almost at the target. Stay sharp. Wade looks serious. On a branch nearby, a tiny bee is watching them. Here come the dead men walking. Arya's eyes flash with disdain. As the 3 squads approach the bloodthirsty vine wall, they crouch down to cut the vines. In an instant, the bloodthirsty vines spear through 3 of them and start devouring their blood and life force. Not good. Something is wrong with this wall. By the time Wade and the others react, 5 have already been pulled into the vines. In the chaos, more get impaled. Through my puppets, I have spotted the intruders too. Fine, if you want to die, I will help you out. I send the Tier 4 puppets out from the residence. Tyrant 1 and Titan charge first. Titan slams his staff down, shattering the lead Awakened along with his rock shield. Blaze 1 raises both hands, and a dozen massive fireballs rain down, exploding in the middle of the group. 4 slower Awakened are swallowed by the flames. The remaining 6 are blown backward, charred black. Burrower 1 then raises an earth wall, sealing the survivors inside. The wall closes in. Some try to climb over, only to be blown apart by a fireball from Blaze 1 waiting outside. Lance tries to escape over the wall in the chaos, only to be slammed into the dirt by a punch from Tyrant 1. Lance and the others, they are gone. But I did not notice that 1 Awakened, using a doppelganger ability, slipped away. Through the bloodthirsty vine's vision, Arya finds a body that was not consumed. We have a runner. Arya's brow furrows deeply. He must have escaped using a doppelganger ability, but her power has not been exposed, and they even think she is the Zombie King. This could give them a surprise in the next encounter. That night, Selena lies in bed, tossing and turning. A thought hits her. What if she could stop humans from attacking the Zombie King and make peace between the 2 sides? Cole returns with the devastating news that all 3 squads have been wiped out. The Zombie King has multiple Tier 4 evolved zombies, and there are demon vines that attack humans. Cole's voice trembles. As the news spreads, the commander immediately decides to call for reinforcements from the capital. Arya convinces me to unchain Selena. Selena asks to talk with me. In the living room, Selena gets straight to the point. Zombie King, you still have human consciousness, do you not? My eyes go cold. This is my biggest secret. I write, I will not kill you. Go on. Selena takes a deep breath. Little Seven is still human. You do not want her to live with zombies her whole life, do you? If I ever become the leader of humanity, would you be willing to live in peace with humans? Both Arya and I are stunned by these words, but I do not refuse outright. Talk to me when you actually become the leader of humanity. The next day, Arya decides to reveal part of her power in front of me, so I will feel safe, unchaining Selena. Daddy, I think I just awakened a superpower. She spreads her arms and flies around the room. I am thrilled. Little Seven is awakened. I start training her seriously, having her practice attacks with iron nails and preparing poison needles as her hidden weapon. Little Seven is my biggest trump card. The Riverhaven base finally gets a response from the capital. They send the Sky Squad as support. Every member is a flying type Tier 3 awakened. A formation of 5 armed helicopters comes streaking in and launches a heavy bombardment on the farm. Damn it, my damn farm! But the Tier 4 puppets are unharmed. Blaze 1 and Blaze 2 transform into fire giants and weave a massive fire net across the sky, trapping the Sky Squad in midair. Bloodfang 1's Blood Lightning Orbs and Blood Divine Beams, combined with Tyrant 1's Steel Claws, take down one awakened after another. From the shadows, Arya uses time manipulation to handle multiple enemies charging at the residence. Selena fights desperately to protect Little Seven. She is impaled through the abdomen and falls in a pool of blood, but she quickly resurrects and rejoins the fight. The 3 elite squads plus the Sky Squad are wiped out with only Cole, with his doppelganger ability, escaping once again. The farm is left in ruins. I decide not to rebuild. This place is exposed. From now on, wherever Little Seven goes, that will be home. I write on paper. Selena chooses to stay and leave with us. After the convoy departs the farm, we head south, arriving in North Star City. I unleash a zombie tide and harvest evolved zombies, and wipe out the local Dragon Tiger gang. Marcus, the gang's second in command, and a flying awakened, escape and flee to the North Star base to inform on me. After I clear out every evolved zombie in North Star City, the convoy sets off again. After breaking through to Tier 5, my mental power explodes. My control range pushes past 50 kilometers. I can now command a massive force of Tier 4 puppets, with 3 Tier 5 puppets already under my control. But Highland City is a different story. Mutant beasts roam everywhere. I lead my puppet army through the city, hunting beasts on a massive scale, and harvesting countless crystal cores. After wiping out the Beast King cult that occupies Pale Moon Mountain, I loot their cave for supplies and vegetables. Before dying, the cult's enforcer mentions that their leader has gone to subdue a Tier 5 mutant beast. This puts me on high alert. Sure enough, Victor, the leader of the Beast King cult, comes knocking. Before the apocalypse, he was just a lone shark's enforcer. After awakening his beast-taming ability, he rose to power. His older sister was driven to her death by the powerful elite, so he plans to use the power of the mutant white bear to destroy Highland Base. We share a common enemy, let us join forces. Selena flatly refuses. Sorry, not interested. After being shut down, Victor sends his mutant pangolin to attack Little Seven from underground that very night. But Arya kills the pangolin with one strike. Terrified, Victor flees in panic, and leaks our location to the Riverhaven base. In Highland City, Arya successfully breaks through to Tier 5. Her telekinesis can now condense into solid telekinetic needles that pierce through walls. Her time manipulation has awakened the essence of time, letting her instantly drain a target's life force. Selena too has broken through to Tier 4 thanks to both cultivation and constant combat. Auntie Selena, from now on you are the Black Bull Knight. No way, absolutely not, Selena snaps. The capital sends out its strongest trump card, Dragon Squad. This squad once killed a zombie king. The key member is a shapeshifter, called Vince, who can disguise himself as any living creature to infiltrate enemy ranks. Their plan is the same as before. Decoys on the outside draw attention, while Vince disguises himself as a zombie and sneaks in, aiming for a one-strike kill on the zombie king. One night, Arya finally works up the courage to confess to me. Daddy, actually I can use time manipulation. She demonstrates her power, and a pot of green vines instantly withers. A piece of snake meat dries out and hardens into stone in seconds. While I am still shocked, she drops an even more stunning truth. Daddy, actually I am already a Tier 5 awakened. I stand there frozen, but I do not press for answers. As long as she is my daughter, that is all that matters. Daddy, from now on I will protect you. Little Seven raises her tiny fist, her smile bright. I ruffle her hair, my heart warm and full of pride. When the convoy enters Pearl River City, I have my puppets harvest crystal cores as usual, but the Pearl River base reacts with shocking speed, deploying their entire force to launch a fierce assault. Blaze 1, with his fire spirit form, is immune to physical attacks, but the volley from self-propelled howitzers catches me off guard. At the critical moment, Arya unleashes her fury. No one hurts my daddy. Time manipulation, full power. Every shell is sent back along its path by her telekinesis, wiping out the entire artillery regiment in one stroke. The survivors flee in panic, only to be hunted down by my puppet army. Only one awakened escapes with the commander using teleportation. In this battle, the Pearl River base's offensive force is almost completely destroyed. Watching Little Seven's terrifying power on display, my heart swells with pride. With one move, she crushes the human forces. Not even my Tier 5 puppets could match her. Meanwhile, far away, the Dragon Squad's helicopters are flying toward Highland City. Vince, the shapeshifter who can become any creature, is wiping his blade with a confident smile. Captain, do not worry. I will complete this mission for sure. After the Pearl River battle, I sit on the living room sofa, scanning the surroundings through my puppet's eyes. Daddy, we cannot stay here any longer. Arya walks to my side, her face serious. I nod. I have already thought about this. Even though we won that battle, the cost of being exposed is too high. Selena walks over from the window, dust from the battle still on her face. Little Seven is right, we have to leave fast. The Pearl River base reacts way too quickly. If they call in reinforcements, we could be surrounded. Half an hour later, the convoy speeds south along the main road of the Pearl River city. I deliberately choose a route far from the base. Through Arrow 1's aerial scouting, I confirm that the surviving Pearl River base forces show no signs of pursuit for now. After 2 hours at full speed, the convoy finally leaves Pearl River City behind. Daddy, where do we go next? Arya leans against the back window, her little face pressed to the glass. I spread out the map, my eyes sweeping across Riverstone Province. To the south is Tranquil City. Further south, we leave Riverstone Province. The bases throughout Riverstone Province have already formed an intelligence network. There is no way to hide our movements. But once we leave Riverstone Province, information passes much more slowly between bases in different provinces. By the time other provinces react, we will already be long gone. Leave the province? Selena seems surprised. That is a long way to go. The farther the better, Arya answers for me. If we stay in Riverstone Province, they will find us sooner or later. Selena thinks for a moment and does not argue. The convoy keeps heading south. Along the way, I casually harvest more zombie crystal cores. By evening, we set up camp by an abandoned gas station. A campfire flares to life. Selena puts a piece of grilled ribs on Little Seven's plate, then takes a big swig of beer. Little Seven, your daddy's cooking is so good. Was he a chef before the apocalypse? Maybe. Arya smiles as she takes the ribs. I sit in the passenger seat, flipping through the map. From here to the Riverstone Province border, it is about 200 kilometers. But the problem is, there is one city we cannot avoid. Tranquil City. Tranquil City stretches across the north-south route. Going around is nearly impossible. We have to cut straight through. And Tranquil City definitely has a base. I frown. If the Pearl River base has already passed the word along, the Tranquil base may already be on full alert. When we try to cross the city, it could turn into another brutal fight. Arya seems to read my worry. She trots over, leans against the car window and peeks at the map. Daddy's thinking about Tranquil City? I nod. Do not worry, I am with you. She clenches her tiny fist, her eyes serious. This little one. I cannot help but smile, and reach out to pinch her cheek. But in this brief moment of peace, through Arrow 1's eyes, I catch sight of small black dots on the northern horizon, speeding toward us at high altitude. My expression goes cold. Those are not Pearl River base helicopters. Selena, gets Seven in the car. I toss a note to Selena. Without a word, she scoops up Arya and runs for the vehicle. Arya's eyes narrow. 3 helicopters, not from Pearl River. Selena's face changes too, but the helicopters circle a few kilometers to the north for a while, then disappear from view. I do not let my guard down. I send Arrow 1 to quietly follow them. Through Arrow 1's eyes, I see 7 heavily armed soldiers step out of the helicopters. The man at the front has a buzz cut. He gives off a Tier 4 aura. After the 7 step off, they set up camp on the spot. These guys mean business. They are either elite troops from a large base or sent by the capital. The thought of the capital tightens my chest. After I wiped out the Sky Squad at Clearwater Farm, this might be the capital's second trump card. I decide to hold back for now and keep Arrow 1 watching. At the same time, I have the convoy shut off their engines and hide in the dark. After the 7-man team sets up camp, they keep checking maps and documents. They are definitely on a mission. This is no coincidence. They are after me. Arya is not sleeping either. She sits cross-legged in the back seat cultivating. Sensing my shift in mood, she asks, Daddy, is something wrong? I write on a piece of paper. A 7-man squad has arrived from the north, heavily armed, likely from the capital. They may be after us. Arya reads it, her brow slightly furrowed. If it is a capital trump card squad, they likely have special ability users. Last time the Sky Squad was all flight types. This time may be even worse. That is exactly what I worry about. Suddenly, a tall, thin young man leaves the 7-man camp alone and walks into the nearby forest. Once inside, his aura suddenly shifts from human to zombie. This man can disguise himself as a zombie. In an instant, I see their plan. If I had not known, this shapeshifter could slip into my puppet ranks unnoticed, and then strike when he gets close. The last zombie king was probably killed exactly like this. Little Seven, we have a problem. I tell Arya about the shapeshifter. After hearing it, Arya's face turns deadly serious. Disguised as a zombie, the innocence in her face fades, replaced by sharp focus. This ability is rare. If his disguise is perfect enough, Daddy, even your mental power may not detect him. But I can. Her tone is calm and confident. The power of time manipulation lets me sense the flow of time in every living thing. Zombies and humans have different temporal flows. Zombies have already stopped aging, while humans, no matter how they disguise themselves, still have a normal flow of time. If I focus, I will be able to pick him out. This puts me at ease, but I refuse to underestimate the enemy. We change the plan. I write on the paper. Skip Tranquil City. Take the mountain roads out of the province. Selena wakes up too, rubbing her eyes as she leans in to read the note. A detour? That will add several days. A few extra days beats getting ambushed. Selena looks at both of our expressions and does not ask further. Before dawn, I deliberately pick a remote mountain trail. The road is terrible, but the cover is excellent. But I underestimate the enemy's tracking ability. After about 3 hours of driving, I get an update. The 7-man squad has broken camp and is moving south, their direction parallel to ours. They are tracking us. Through Arrow 1's aerial view, I spot a mutant beast bird circling above the convoy. Shooting it down is easy, but it would tip them off and they might switch from ambush to a direct assault. After thinking it over, since they want to use a shapeshifter to assassinate me, I will turn their plan against them. I share the plan with Arya and Selena. Daddy, you mean to leave a deliberate opening, lure the shapeshifter in and wipe them all out? Selena hesitates. It is too risky. What if the shapeshifter's power is stronger than we expect? With me here, he cannot pull anything off. Arya pats her little chest. Selena looks at Seven, remembering the scene of her reversing every shell the night before, and silently shuts her mouth. According to the plan, the convoy stops at an open river valley by evening to set up camp. I deliberately deploy only a small number of puppets, hiding the high-tier ones in the surrounding forest. On the surface, the camp looks full of gaps in its defense. After nightfall, I sit by the campfire pretending to relax, but my mental power is fully extended. Arya lies in her tent, supposedly asleep, with time manipulation locked in sensing mode. Selena actually is asleep. At midnight, my mental power picks up something strange. On the camp's perimeter, an ordinary zombie is slowly approaching. His appearance is identical to other zombies, but his path is too deliberate. He slips past the patrolling puppets, moving through the gaps in defense toward the camp center. I do not give myself away, and keep pretending I notice nothing. The zombie gets closer and closer, until he reaches the edge of the camp. His eyes sweep around the campfire and finally lock onto me. With a short dagger in hand, he charges at me. The moment the shapeshifter is 5 meters from me, time freezes around him. Arya steps out of the tent, her face cold. Just as I thought, human, she says calmly. Zombies have no flow of time. His heart is still beating. I stand up and walk to the shapeshifter to examine him. His disguise, from appearance to aura, is nearly flawless. Without Arya's time manipulation, I might not have caught him in the first moment. The next instant, I unleash my mental power, sending the order for a full assault to the Tier 5 puppets hidden in the forest. Meanwhile, at the 7-man squad's temporary camp a few kilometers away, they instantly sense the overwhelming killing intent. Damn it! The scout is blown! The buzzcut leader Kane jumps up, his face twisting. Battle stations. But it is too late. A wave of crimson flame from Blaze 1 strikes first. In under 10 seconds, the 3 helicopters become 3 massive balls of fire, crashing to the ground. One awakened goes pale. Reaper 1 comes next. A crimson light wraps around an awakened in the middle of using his power. The man feels himself being pulled toward Reaper 1 against his will. The next instant, Reaper 1's tongue pierces through his chest. Arrow 1 dives down from the sky and unleashes the flying domain. Under his time-slow field, the ranged attacks of 2 awaken slow to a crawl, their power dropping to almost nothing. But Arrow 1's steel claws are unaffected. Hank's ability is metal skin, covering his whole body with a layer of silver metal armor. His defense is incredible. Titan slams his staff down. The metal armor caves in but does not shatter. But the second swing follows right behind. The metal armor explodes and Hank is sent flying, blood pouring from his mouth. Before he hits the ground, Reaper 1's whip-like tongue is already on him. Hank dies instantly. Through Puppet's eyes, I confirm that all 7 members of the squad are dead. I let out a breath of relief. Back at camp, I look at the shapeshifter still frozen in place. What do we do with him? Selena wakes up too, throws on a coat and steps out, startled by the scene. Kill him, Arya says calmly. With a wave of her hand, a telekinetic needle drives into the shapeshifter's forehead. Her time manipulation releases, and the shapeshifter's body slumps to the ground, returning to his human form. Selena crouches down and pulls out an ID from the inner chest pocket. Dragon Squad! I do not feel much, but Arya's reaction surprises me. She stares at the ID for a long time. The capital has sent 2 trump card squads in a row, and both have been wiped out. Next time I doubt they will send a squad anymore. Then what will they send? An army. Arya looks up, her eyes deep and cold. Once the capital confirms both trump card squads are gone, Daddy, they will mark you as the highest level threat. From then on, the hunt will multiply. Because the loss of 2 trump card squads will only convince them more of the Zombie King's danger. They will not give up. They will go even harder. So we must leave the province as soon as possible. I write on the paper. That night, the convoy sets out immediately, with no more stops. I have Arrow 1 keep watch non-stop from above, making sure no pursuers are behind us. When we approach the outskirts of Tranquil City, I decide not to detour. I will cut straight through. A detour adds at least 5 days, and 5 more days in the wild means 5 more days of risk. While Tranquil City does have a base, the city itself is massive. As long as we take a route far from the base and move fast, the chance of detection is low. I extend my mental power ahead, bringing every zombie along the path under my control and clearing the way for the convoy. The entire convoy moves through the dark city streets without making a sound. The convoy makes it through most of Tranquil City. Ahead is the southern exit. At that moment, Arrow 1 sends back urgent intel. There is a military convoy at the southern overpass. Several armored vehicles and military trucks block the bridge, forming a roadblock. Snipers are stationed on buildings at both ends of the bridge. These are Tranquil base troops. But after a closer look, I notice these soldiers are not in a state of high alert. The Tranquil base likely set up checkpoints at major exits after receiving the Zombie King alert. Daddy, we cannot go through here, Arya says. Even if we can fight through, the noise will bring the whole base after us. I agree to detour. The convoy turns and ducks into a remote alley, swinging west. According to the map, I plan to cut through the industrial zone in the western part of Tranquil City and exit via the ring road there. But the industrial zone is in terrible shape, with collapsed factories and blocked vehicles everywhere. 20 minutes later, the convoy exits the industrial zone and reaches the ring road. Just as I think we are about to make it, the roar of helicopters suddenly comes from behind. 3 armed helicopters are flying in from the city, searchlight beams sweeping the night, hunting for something. Speed up! I send the command, and the convoy slams forward. The helicopters close in fast, their searchlights locking onto the convoy. Then the autocannons open fire. Bullets hit the road behind the rear vehicles, sending sparks flying. Convoy ahead, stop immediately for inspection or we will open fire. I ignore them. Blaze 1 rises from the convoy, turning into a streak of crimson light as he charges at the helicopter formation. Massive explosions light up the sky as wreckage rains down. The searchlights die, the pursuit ends. The convoy speeds across the city boundary and disappears into the night. We made it! Selena lets out a long breath, but I cannot relax. The tranquil base will report our direction. The rest of the trip is a race against time. The convoy charges forward at full speed. At dawn, we finally see the sign marking the border between Riverstone Province and the neighboring province. But the moment the convoy crosses the line, Arrow 1 sends back a view from above that freezes my smile. On a hilltop south of the border stands Victor, looking down at the convoy crossing the border. He just watches from afar, as if tracking and observing. Arya also notices Victor. A flash of cold crosses her little face. This man is dangerous. He will not let this go. Should we take him out first? I shake my head. Victor's mutant pangolin may be dead, but he himself is a beast tamer. Who knows what other cards he is hiding? But now is not the right time to deal with him. Once we are out of the province, we will figure it out. Move on now. I write. The convoy continues south, crossing into the neighboring province. After leaving Riverstone Province, the roads improve noticeably. The wide highways still have some blocked vehicles, but they are nothing compared to the rough mountain paths from before. 3 days later, we arrive at Skyhaven City in the neighboring province. Before the apocalypse, Skyhaven City was a metropolis with 3 million people. Now it has become zombie territory. But for me, this place is a massive treasure trove. 3 million people means a huge zombie population, which means tons of evolved zombies and crystal cores. Plus, this place is far from Riverstone Province, so news travels slowly here. For now, I do not have to worry about being hunted by human bases. Once the convoy enters Skyhaven City, I trigger the usual zombie tide to clear the surroundings, harvesting crystal core after crystal core. Arya uses the time to cultivate and to keep feeding her ancient turtle. After all these days of training, the turtle finally reaches tier 4. His shell is now large enough to set up a table and play cards on. Selena is not idle either. Every day she rides her mutant black bull Blackie out to hunt beasts. Her power grows steadily. She also keeps practicing the meridian forging art that Arya taught her. Her aura grows ever deeper. I use this time to expand my puppet army even further. By harvesting crystal cores from the zombies in Skyhaven City, I raise several more tier 4 puppets. With this kind of power, even taking on a mid-sized base head-on, I am confident. But all I want is a safe place where little Seven can grow up. Unfortunately, on the 5th night in Skyhaven City, through Arrow 1's aerial scouting, I spot a massive convoy moving in from the northwest. Dozens of military trucks, armored vehicles and tanks, escorted by 6 armed helicopters. In the center of the convoy are several command vehicles with special markings. Their direction points straight at Skyhaven City, so word still reach this place. My heart sinks. It seems the capital has expanded the Zombie King's wanted notice to the neighboring province. This force is likely the strike team assembled by the neighboring province's base after receiving the alert. But it is also possible that Victor leaked our location to this base. Either way, I cannot stay here. Selena is already used to this nomadic life. She silently begins to pack. Arya walks to the window, looking out at the quiet city streets. Daddy, we cannot keep running like this forever. I know she is right, but right now, what else can we do but run? One day we will not have to run anymore. Arya turns and gives me a smile. In that smile there is a calm and resolve far beyond her years. In the early hours of the morning, the convoy vanishes into the night of Skyhaven City, dozens of kilometers away. The massive military convoy keeps pushing forward. Inside the command vehicle, a stern middle-aged man is flipping through a document. The cover bears a red top-secret stamp. A single title stares back at him. The Zombie King Dossier. The man closes the file and turns his gaze toward the direction of Skyhaven City. This time you will not escape.